Your fence isn't just a fence, it's a secret garden. Picture this. You walk past your fence every day. It's just there, a line between your yard and the world. But what if I told you it's not a boundary at all? It's a blank canvas, a vertical garden, already paid for, already built, just waiting for you to plant something extraordinary. One spring, I decided to test this. I tied a little twine to my fence, tucked a few seeds into the dirt at the base, and stepped back. By midsummer, a neighbor actually stopped her car in front of my house to ask, "What did you do to your fence?" The answer? Nothing fancy. I just started using space that was already mine. Today, I'm going to show you 8 climbing vegetables that will turn your fence into a lush, productive powerhouse with barely any water, almost no effort, and a harvest so abundant you'll wonder why you didn't do this years ago. Hit subscribe, ring that bell, and let's dig in. Because by the end of this, you'll never look at your fence the same way again. And trust me, number 5 will blow your mind. It can cover a 6-foot fence in under 60 days. And number 8, most people toss it in the trash, not realizing they could be growing it and eating it every single week. The game changers. 8 plants that will transform your fence. 1. Sugar snap peas, the gateway drug to gardening. Someone once handed me a packet of sugar snap pea seeds and said, just push them near the fence and forget about them. So I did. 2 weeks later, I came back to find tiny green tendrils reaching for the wire, gripping it like they've been waiting for this moment their whole lives. 6 weeks after that, I was standing at the fence popping peas straight off the vine. Sweet, crisp, nothing like the sad, rubbery peas you find in a grocery store bag. That's the moment I understood why people become gardeners. This plant does that to everyone. How to grow. Sow seeds directly against the fence in early spring, 1 inch deep, 6 inches apart. Soil temp should be at least 45 degrees Fahrenheit. The magic. Tendrils find their own way up, no help needed. Pods form along every stem. Pro tip. Pick every pod the second it's full size. Wait too long and the sweetness fades. And here's the rule. Eat the first one right there at the fence. No kitchen, no plates. Just you, the plant, and the reward. 2. Scarlet runner beans, the overachiever. Most plants give you one thing. Scarlet runner beans, they give you 3, and most people only know about one of them. First, the show. Clusters of fiery scarlet orange flowers cover the vines from midsummer to fall. So dense, so vibrant, that people will stop and ask, is that a food plant or just art? Hummingbirds will find it from miles away. Bees will treat it like an all-you-can-eat buffet. Second, the harvest. Under those flowers, long, flat pods, tender, earthy, and way better than standard green beans. Pick them young, cook them fresh. They're extraordinary. Third, the secret. Let some pods dry on the vine. Inside, giant, glossy, purple-black beans that look like they belong in a jewelry box, not a pot. Cook them in winter stews. Save half for next year's planting. 1 fence, 1 plant, 3 harvests. And most gardeners walk right past the seed packets without a second glance. How to grow. Plant after your last frost, 1 inch deep, 6 to 8 inches apart. Thrives in zones 4 to 11. 3. Cucumbers, the problem solver. Most people grow cucumbers on the ground. Big mistake. The vines sprawl, the leaves trap moisture, the fruits rot against the soil, and disease, it's just waiting to strike. Grow them on a fence and all those problems vanish. Why it works. Vines go vertical, leaves get sunlight, fruits hang clean in the open air. No bending, no searching, just walk the fence and pick what's ready. Best variety, Armenian cucumber. Drought tolerant, heat loving, and sweet even in scorching temps. The golden rule, pick every cucumber before it turns yellow. One overripe fruit tells the plant, we're done here. Production slows fast. Pick daily, and your fence will keep pumping out cucumbers like it's its job. Fresh cucumber, eaten within an hour of picking, crisp in a way that disappears by the next day. And you can have that every single day all summer long. 4. Butternut squash, the space saver with a winter bonus. Here's the deal. A butternut squash vine trained up a fence takes 18 inches of horizontal space. On the ground, it needs 8 to 10 feet. That's the most efficient growing hack for small spaces. The catch, butternut isn't a natural climber. You've got to introduce it to the fence early, within the first 2 weeks, and tie it up loosely. The trick? As fruits grow, they get heavy. Sling them up with mesh fabric or old netting tied to the fence. 2 minutes per fruit equals the difference between a bountiful harvest and a broken stem. The payoff? 1 plant equals 2 to 4 full-sized squashes. That's 12 plus pounds of food from 18 inches of fence. And here's the kicker. Butternut stores for months. Cured properly, it'll feed you from August to February. Your fence just produced winter food. Let that sink in. 5. Yard-long beans, the 60-day miracle. This is the one. 60 days. That's all it takes to go from bare fence to a wall of vines and pods so dense, visitors will stop and stare before they even realize what they're looking at. Why they're special. These tropical climbers from Southeast Asia grow 18 to 24 inches long. Yes, yard long. The first time someone sees a mature pod, they always reach out to compare it to their arm. It's always as long as it looks. Heat lovers. Where other beans wilt above 85 degrees Fahrenheit, yard-long beans thrive. The hotter, the better. The harvest rule? Pick pods when they're pencil thin. At that stage, they're tender, nutty, and unlike any green bean you've tasted. Wait too long, they turn fibrous. The result? By midsummer, you'll be harvesting armfuls of beans so long they fold in your basket. You'll be giving them to neighbors, cooking them 3 ways in a week. Your fence will look like a hedge that decided to fruit. 60 days. That's it. 6. Malabar spinach, the summer green you didn't know you needed. Every gardener knows the struggle. Spinach bolts in summer heat. It turns bitter, it quits, and just when your garden is bursting with tomatoes and peppers, you're left with no fresh greens. Enter Malabar spinach, the plant most gardeners have never heard of, but the one that solves the summer spinach problem. What it is? A climbing vine from tropical Asia that loves heat. Full sun, high temps, this is its happy place. How it grows. Plant it when the weather turns hot. It climbs fast, producing thick, glossy leaves at every node. The surprise? You don't pick individual leaves. You cut stems, the top 6 to 8 inches from any growing tip. The plant branches from that cut, producing 2 new growing tips where there was 1. The more you harvest, the more it grows. Bonus, leaves are thicker than regular spinach. Great for cooking. Stems, edible too. Nothing wasted. No summer spinach gap, no bare fence. Just fresh greens all season long. 7. Chayote, the overachiever that won't quit. I need to be honest with you about chayote. If you give this plant a fence and a warm climate, it won't just cover the fence. It'll reach the roof, it'll crawl along the gutters, it'll be in your neighbor's yard by September. That's not a warning. That's the point. The numbers. 1 mature chayote plant in zones 8 to 11 produces 100 to 200 fruits in a single season. Not 5, not 10. An embarrassment of riches. How to grow it? Plant a whole fruit. Yes, the kind you buy at the grocery store. Let it sprout, then plant it at a 45-degree angle with the sprouted end just below the soil. 1 fruit equals 1 vine equals a fence-covered jungle. What you get? Young fruits. Mild, crisp, great raw or cooked like summer squash. Shoots and leaves, edible greens. Mature roots, starchy, like potatoes. The catch? In zones 8 to 11, it's perennial. The root system overwinters and the vine comes back bigger every year. 1 fruit, 1 fence, 100 to 200 harvests. That's chayote. 8. Loofah, the plant that gives you food and a shower sponge. Yes, that loofah. The rough, natural sponge in your shower, it grows on a fence. The twist? Loofah isn't a sea creature. It's a gourd, a climbing vine in the cucumber family. And that sponge? It's the dried fibrous skeleton of the mature fruit. The secret? Young loofah, harvested at 6 to 8 inches, deep green, is a vegetable. Mild, zucchini-like, with a hint of cucumber, used in stir-fries and curries for centuries. The process? Harvest young fruits as food all summer. Leave the rest to dry on the vine. Peel the brown skin. Boom, there's your sponge. The payoff? One plant equals vegetables from June to August, sponges from September onward, from a vine that asked for almost nothing but a fence and some warmth. Start seeds indoors 4 to 6 weeks before your last frost. It needs a long season, 150 to 200 days, so zones 7 to 11 are ideal. The fence you've been ignoring. That fence outside your window, the one you've walked past 100 times without a second thought, it's not a boundary. It never was. It's growing space. And now you've got 8 plants that prove it. 8 plants, 1 fence, a neighbor who stops her car to ask, "What is that?" So tell me, which one are you planting first? Drop a comment. I read every single one, and I'll see you in the next video.